The $100 billion railway in the desert. One of the world's largest and most ambitious construction projects is under construction right here, in the middle of a desert. The Gulf Railway, also known as the GCC Railway, is a proposed railway system to connect all six Gulf Cooperation Council member states in Eastern Arabia. The rail network will also have a total length of 2,177 kilometers that connects the regions. The project is scheduled to be completed by 2023 at an estimated cost of $250 billion. But with desert sands to cross and mountains to tunnel through, the project challenges are immense and matched only by the price tag that comes with tackling them. And if it works, the new line could unite the Gulf, reshape its transportation sector, reduce its carbon footprint, and kickstart a whole new era of economic development. But first, it has to overcome the political, financial, and logistical challenges standing in its way. Before we get into how the railway is being built, it's important to understand why it's being built in the first place. But first, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you get notified when next we upload a video. Let's begin in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, in February 1981. Leaders from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, and Oman met to form a political and economic coalition called the Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC. As a group, they made a lot of money off oil and gas, and that meant that their economies were largely tied to the oil market. Unfortunately, during the Great Recession of 2008 to 2009, oil prices plummeted and the GCC economy suffered. This is where the railway comes into play. To them, diversifying the Gulf states' economies away from oil and gas will help them develop stronger economies, and the railway lines will help to connect the nation's ports with manufacturing hubs as well as the nation's ports with urban centers. In view of this, in 2009, the GCC approved a massive railway project that would link all six member states. The cost would be divided among the countries, with the entire project estimated to be between $100 to $250 billion. The most expensive element being Saudi Arabia's metro project and Etihad Railway, an $11 billion 1,200 kilometer freight and passenger railway that stretches across the Emirates from the Gulf of Oman to the Persian Gulf. Now, let's look at the railway which is being constructed. The UAE's first rational railway network is being constructed in two stages. The first stage was completed in 2016 and spans 264 kilometers from the Habshan and Shah areas in Abu Dhabi to the port of Ruwais. In the popular perception, the Arab Gulf states are flat desert countries, and to add to some extent, that is certainly the case. But in the northern parts of the Emirates and northern part of Oman, they have rugged mountains that reach 3,000 meters in elevation. Parts of this railway system have been just as challenging as building a railway system in the Rocky Mountains of the US. It's a tough working environment to say the least. It can get too hot in the summer, and some construction sites operate at night when temperatures are closer to a cool 30 degrees Celsius, that's around 86 Fahrenheit. Etihad, however, learned from others who have built in the desert, including China, Saudi Arabia, and Mauritania. Those nations found solutions like turning sand dunes to clay over many years, monitoring the shifting dunes, and planting walls of vegetation to block wind and sun. Thus, Etihad Rail's locomotive design includes a sand filtration system and sand plow to help it navigate the desert. The project's first stage. In Stage 1, Etihad Rail constructed 20 overbridges, 2 underbridges, 10 road passages, and 18 smaller underpasses for future uses, as well as 10 road underpasses. The company also built 2 factories to produce concrete railway sleepers made from locally sourced raw materials, which form the base of the tracks. Each sleeper is 2.6 meters long and weighs 340 kgs. They are attached to the main rails with a fastening system and are used to help stabilize the track and ensure the train can travel smoothly at speeds of up to 200 kilometers an hour for passenger services. But this first route is not transporting passengers just yet. Instead, it's carrying up to 22,000 tons of granulated sulfur across 110 wagons each day. The element is extracted from the oil fields in Abu Dhabi and processed for export at the port of Ruwais, where it goes on to be used in manufacturing everything from batteries to fertilizers and even fireworks. Etihad Rail has transported more than 30 million tons of granulated sulfur for the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company as of mid-2021. According to researchers, a single train journey reduces carbon dioxide emissions by 70 to 80% when compared to truck trips. That's significant for a country with one of the world's largest carbon footprints. The Emirates' efficiency has also helped them become the world's top sulfur exporter, bringing in $679 million in 2019. Much of that sulfur was most likely shipped to China, the world's largest importer and a partner in Stage 2 of the project. Now the project's second phase. Stage 2 construction began in 2020 and will extend the network 605 kilometers from Goa Fat on the border with Saudi Arabia to Fujairah on the east coast. A $408 million contract put China's State Construction Engineering Corporation and South Korea's SK Engineering and Construction in charge of the design and building of 439 kilometers of rail line. Once completed, the network will link the country's major industrial ports and trading centers, enabling more than 50 million tons of goods to be transported each year. In a country like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, they are huge in the area and they contain immense potential for other natural resources that could and would be developed in the next few decades. And the railway would help these governments tap these so far untapped natural resources. Even with progress being made on the Etihad rail network, the GCC rail project as a whole hasn't always gone according to plan. GCC countries briefly blocked Qatar from its organization, putting its role in the railway project into question. Furthermore, the pandemic and rising oil prices have resulted in logistical delays and cuts to infrastructure spending, delaying the project's completion by years. The vision of Gulf leaders has emerged from being a vision of ambition and sometimes unrealistic ambitions to a vision of pragmatism. Etihad has not said exactly when the railway will be open to commuters yet, but when it is, it might be a tough sell for a country that loves its cars. According to a survey conducted in the UAE in 2020, 83% of people rely on cars, while only 13% use public transportation. At this point, the value is primarily monetary, and the human side is still in its infancy. And if there is a stumbling block to this project, it will be the population's willingness to board the railway line and travel from city to city. Nonetheless, the railway plays an important role in these countries' efforts to become more sustainable and diversify their economies. The Gulf economies have grown at an exponential rate over the last 3 decades or so, and the railway lines are more for global complement, a logical extension, and of the enormous economic growth that the Gulf states have experienced in recent years. The Emirates may be known for their oil wealth and glitzy futuristic developments, but then the Etihad Railway is a glimpse into the leader's long-term strategy to build a more connected United Gulf. Cultural shifts take time, whereas technological shifts can occur almost instantly. There you have it, a comprehensive explanation of the $100 billion desert railway. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and also share it with your friends.